Welcome to Community Taking Action, ABCD's program highlighting people and organizations doing great things in and around the Boston area. We are now joined by Rachel Villasson from the Urban League's Young Professionals Network. Welcome to the program. So what we want to do, what we try to do in the program is talk about people and organizations that are really outstanding and doing things. And I think many people are familiar with the Urban League, nationally, Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. I don't know if as many people are as familiar with the Young Professionals Network, which is really like exciting. Oh my gosh, these young professionals and the Urban League are working together. So help us with just the history of YPN and what it does and how it came to be, if you know all of that.
Sure. Our mission primarily is to support the Urban League movement through volunteerism, community service, and philanthropy. And we do that by providing member and social development to our members. And we also provide an inclusive environment for students between the ages of 19 and 40 in the city of Boston.
Before we talk about local programs and things that you're doing, talk a little bit about your experience at the national level.
The national level is a great learning place, absolutely great learning place. I've been very fortunate to be around a lot of great leaders. Right now, our current president is Brandy Richard, and she's a huge person for advocacy, and she definitely has spearheaded, along with the NUL president, Mark Morial, in terms of making sure that young professionals, or YPs as we call ourselves, are at the forefront of a lot of issues concerning anything from advocacy to economic development to just, we need jobs.
What does it take to lead at that level?
We plan a lot of events. We have a huge calendar for this year, and that takes time to plan, considering that all of us are volunteers. So we all have a 9-to-5, quote unquote, and we do this outside of our 9-to-5. So sometimes, we have to stay up till 11:30 at night answering emails or making phone calls, so they call us back during the day, and we can follow up that way. So it takes a lot of work.
So does your executive team and/or staff or volunteers meet you after hours?
Yes.
Regularly?
Oh yeah, our executive team, we have our meetings at usually 6:30 at night. We go on to about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and we go to work the next day. Our team, my team, is a huge, dedicated volunteer machine. And that's the best and most positive thing that I can say about them, that they're a volunteer machine. When you ask for them to do something, they do it. Hands down, no questions asked.
So I want to spend the remaining time that we have talking about what your team does.
The Young Professionals Network has 8 committees, and they range from civic engagement to membership development to professional social development, and our brand new committee, the Youth Development and Education Committee. And what all these committees do is support the Urban League movement through our mission, which is volunteerism, philanthropy, and community service. And so the basic thing that we do with these committees is that we do our programs that speak to young professionals, but also speak to the National Urban League Movement 4 pillars, which is jobs, education, health, and housing. And so we try to tailor our programs where it speaks to those 4 issues, but in the young professional world. So for example, we have a huge issue with jobs right now in our country.
You mean we're not out of the recession?
Oh my gosh, no. I mean, we're coming out, but African Americans are still over 10% of unemployed. Right. And specifically for young professionals, we're up near 12, 13%, and we're just coming out of college. And that doesn't make any sense. And so what we try to do between the Civic Engagement Committee and Membership Development, we offer opportunities for our members to speak to our partners, such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, for jobs that they give us specific and exclusive job openings for our membership. Also through civic engagement, we give our members opportunities to speak to local civic leaders, community leaders, and business leaders about what's affecting them in this city for the greater Boston area and what they can do to not only help these leaders, but have the leaders help them in trying to further the mission of themselves in membership development and professional development, but also the mission of the Young Professionals Network and the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts.
I want you to go back to the pillars of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, because I think Urban League's been in Boston. It's been in Boston for some time, particularly at the headquarters, which is a fantastic headquarters. And I don't know, even if we know of the institution, I don't know if we know the pillars and really are clear on what it stands for. If you could just go over that again.
Sure. So the National Urban League has 4 pillars: jobs, education, health, and housing. And that's pretty much to advance for urban communities, those 4 areas. So for the underemployed and unemployed to have better jobs, or to have a job at all.
That's right.
Health is to have a better health standard for all people. Housing is to have fair housing practices and standards for all people. And health is also for the same thing as well, to have fair housing standards for all people, health standards. And so specifically, that's the National Urban League. But when you break it down to the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts, what we really focus on here is underemployment and unemployment.
Yeah.
And so what we do here, and all the services are free.
Does your role as the YPN president put you in a role of spokesperson for the Urban League?
Well, Darnell Williams is our spokesperson, the president and CEO of the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts.
And everyone certainly knows who Darnell is.
And everybody knows who Darnell is, and he's a great leader and a great voice for the community, specifically in Greater Boston. So I like to say that I'm a supporting factor, as everybody is at the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts. We're definitely a supporting factor in the mission of the Urban League and in the mission of what we're trying to do for the community surrounding the in Greater Boston area.
Talk a little bit more about the job or employment services that the Urban League has that YPN is supporting.
We have 2 programs that I can speak of with knowledge.
Certainly.
One is the Mature Worker Program, and that takes people who are mature and are looking to have a better job or get a job because they probably do have to support their family. And so that's one program that comes out of the Urban League. And there's the Workforce Development Program, which is what I was talking about in terms of underemployment or unemployment, where they provide services such as resume writing, accounting techniques, and things of that nature to people who apply for the program. And through that program, they will help them with career placement, and then they'll try to continue to help them with the career placement if things don't pan out, or continue on after that.
Does YPN help to build relationships with employers, or is that something that you support the institution in doing that?
We definitely support the institution in doing that, and we definitely help build as well. Sometimes our sponsors who sponsor specifically YPN do want to get involved with the Urban League, and sometimes it's the other way around. So it's definitely a symbiotic relationship. Like I said, YPN is the volunteer arm for the Urban League of Eastern Massachusetts.
Strong arm, it seems
We're
like.
a strong arm. And so we definitely try to push the brand and the image and the mission of the Urban League in everything that we do. And we definitely want to make sure that everybody that we work with, that we partner with, knows that the Urban League is here, and we're a force that you need to support.
You certainly have at least a core group of very, very committed individuals. How has your outreach been?
Our outreach has been great. Obviously, our social media reach is huge. Our membership is right now at about 110, and that's a huge number. We're one of the larger chapters, actually, in a nation of over 60 chapters. So we're very proud of our numbers, and we're very proud of our membership and our membership core group. And I'm very, very proud of our executive team, who has done a phenomenal job being on the job only since July 1st.
Real quick, phone number, email, webpage.
So our webpage is ypnulem.org. Our Facebook is Young Professionals Network at the Urban League of East Massachusetts at ULEM. You can call me personally at 617-446-3499. And I'm always available to answer the phone. Like I said, I work during the day.
That's right. That's right.
So give me a minute. But I'm always available to answer the phone. I'm always available to meet and have coffee and sit down and talk about YP and talk about the movement and try to get you on board.
Wonderful.
Great.
Thank you very much for being on the program.
Thank you for having me.
And congratulations on being newly elected.
Thank you very much.
That concludes our program for today. Thank you for joining us on Community Taking Action. Be sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and if you miss any episodes, check us out on YouTube. My name is Eric Mitchell, and I'm your host. Until next time.